Free oil changes, discounted travel, even free beer. I'm Christina Howard, and that's just a few of the incentives that were offered to Conservative members so long as they voted for one particular leadership candidate. And while it's not clear how many, if any, of those incentives were actually cashed in, it may have had an impact on the results and who ultimately has that top spot. If you can join the party before 3 p.m. on March 28th and vote for Brad, you'll get a free beer by presenting the copies of votes. That's the English translation for one incentive written in Mandarin. Any Conservative member who votes for Brad, if presenting the copies of your votes for every 3 votes, you will get a free oil change. Reads another one. Incentives to vote for Brad Trost from Edmonton businesses, shared across a Chinese social networking site and shared by prominent entrepreneurs in the GTA, potentially violating Canadian election financing laws, and according to former staff of Prime Minister Stephen Harper, a violation of Conservative rules.
If the incentive is monetary, so for example, if I were to say, buy a membership card for $15 and then I will give you $15 back, whether it's $15 cash or $15 valued of something that you can go and buy, that goes against both the spirit and the letter of Conservative Party rules for memberships. Yes, it does.
University of Toronto at Mississauga professor George Wooten says even if it doesn't break the law, it's definitely offside.
If it doesn't break the rules in a legal sense of the word, I think it clearly violates the spirit of them. And I think that what we have is a potentially ethically challenging situation.
Saskatchewan MP Brad Trost says his team had nothing to do with it.
My campaign, nor any senior volunteers with my campaign, nor myself engaged in this whatsoever. And people who are saying this are engaging in just dirty pool and libelous action.
Trost says once his team found out, he tried to stop it.
We heard a rumor about it because you got to understand, Chinese online stuff is not very clear. And it apparently, I forget, end of March, membership sales were basically over, if not just about over. And we didn't even know. We'd heard about it as a rumor. And I told my Chinese volunteers who I was equipping with, if this is going on, tell whoever's doing it to stop.
But by then, the incentives, which included online travel deals, had spread, with targeted messages directed to York Region and Scarborough's Conservative Chinese population. Ridings where the little-known Saskatchewan MP was able to garner majority votes on the very first ballot, while losing the riding he currently holds.
You can't turn back the clock in terms of the result. The result is the result. So if this is something that benefited initially the Trost campaign, then it means that ultimately it benefited the Scheer campaign.
As a result, current leader Andrew Scheer captured those seats as Trost voters' second choice when Trost was eliminated from the ballot, enabling Scheer to earn a razor-thin victory over frontrunner Maxime Bernier. The Conservatives say they have investigated and found no direct connection to any campaign. But Wooten thinks we're going to see more of these tactics as parties move away from delegated conventions.
So absolutely, going forward, I think this is, if it's not common already, it will become increasingly more common as we move forward, because what do candidates have to offer?
Now, we reached out to the North York entrepreneur who was actively sharing these incentives in the GTA. She hasn't responded to our calls, our emails, or even our door knocks. Head online to citynews.ca where you can see the so-called Trost effect, the impact that his supporters in the GTA had on the overall results.